Hello, I'm Apparentlythis, and welcome to a meditation with the mushroom Red Belted Conch, or Red Belted Mushroom. The Latin name, Fomitopsis pinicola, and the homeopathic remedy name, Polyporus pinicola. This is also called Tiaga, comes from a Native American term for this mushroom. So I came upon this mushroom when I was researching homeopathic remedies that have been indicated and helpful in the coronavirus. As a classical homeopath, I was interested in learning about what homeopaths around the world had found to be helpful. I was specifically looking for a remedy to fit the corresponding fear and hysteria that goes along with this current world situation. Because in homeopathic medicine, you always prescribe first based on the mental symptoms. Those are the most important. And then you prescribe based on the physical symptoms as well. So in homeopathy, what we're doing is looking for a substance in nature that has the most similar picture to the disease or the symptoms of the patient or client. So it's very individual. There isn't one remedy, say, for coronavirus or for a headache or something like that. The remedy, homeopathic, means similar suffering. So you're looking for the most similar remedy in its symptom picture, meaning like if you took a bunch of the substance, what would it do to your body? And you're looking for those same symptoms within the patient. And the mental symptoms are the most important. And so your homeopathy means similar suffering. So you're looking for the most similar substance in nature that can address and match like a mirror the symptoms of the patient or client. So I found that in Iran, for this coronavirus epidemic, they were having great luck with this homeopathic remedy, Polyporus pinicola, or the Tiaga mushroom, red banded conch or red banded mushroom. And as I researched this mushroom, it was very fascinating. First of all, the first thing I found is that they would not export this homeopathic remedy to the U.S. So I wondered, hey, is this like a magic mushroom or something? Why wouldn't they export this? Why wouldn't the U.S. allow this to come in? And that's quite a mystery. We'll look at that. But I think it has to do with the power of this mushroom. In fact, this mushroom is not listed as like an edible species, but it's completely non-toxic. So it's like a food. It's like a reishi mushroom. Similar to reishi mushroom, it's like the Western version of reishi. So this mushroom grows on trees that have been injured, typically conifer trees like pine trees, spruce trees, fir trees, but they can also grow on deciduous trees. They're pretty much in all 50 states, these mushrooms, but particularly in more moist areas and temperate forests. So what happens is that the tree becomes injured. If the tree is injured, it has like a something going on. This allows a wound. This allows the mushroom to begin to grow on the tree. It's a parasite, which is very interesting because a lot of the dis-ease that we have in our culture and energetically what we're trying to cleanse from the planet right now has to do with parasitic energy. So it's also very interesting that this mushroom grows on a wound of the tree, speaking that it is addressing the energy of trauma, and that this is a healing substance that grows hugely beneficial healing substance, but that begins to grow from a wound. And so this mushroom will weaken the trees in old growth trees. If this mushroom is prevalent in old growth trees, it will prevent those trees from being used as board feet. But the non-old growth, middle growth trees, it doesn't seem to affect them so much. But this is a very beneficial mushroom for the forest because it creates species and habitat for many different animals. It increases biodiversity, and the cavities it creates in the trees creates habitat for bears, voles, squirrels, and a number of bird species. So it also performs an essential nutrient cycling function in the forest by decomposing stems, branches, roots, because it'll grow on a live tree if there's a wound, but mostly it kind of prefers the dead trees. So it's really interesting that after a tree falls, that's when it really thrives. It will kind of really like to grow on those dead trees using its energy to transform and break down dead, which is exactly what it does in the body, attacking and going after dead, toxic, and disease cells. So we'll talk about that. Now, I wanted to show you and tell you a little story. I had found this mushroom, and at the beginning of this whole situation and lockdown and the fear and the hysteria, I was looking for something that could address these symptomology on a vibrational level. And this was the remedy that fit the most from all of the remedies that the homeopaths from around the world are talking about have been helpful in this particular virus. And so I was studying about this mushroom and learning about it and learning how it has this incredible, the word polyporous actually comes from the underside of the mushroom being like a sponge. Now, that's the interesting and mysterious part of this virus and the situation is that the lungs of people who have died from this virus are like a sponge. It's like a disease around oxygen uptake, which is very connected to this bioweapon virus, but also the effect of technology, 5G technology interacting with this virus. And the effect of 5G technology is it prevents our cells from uptaking oxygen. It also opens our cells to make them more permeable to toxins, infections, and invasion. So I thought it was just so beautiful that this species that Mother Earth has provided for us, just such a beautiful message to us that even technology, there's a cure. Even the latest AI takeover agenda, Mother Earth still is giving us a cure. And this message to all of us that when the solution is created, when the problem is created, there's also a solution. And that our Mother Earth is here for us. And there is healing and love available. Because what a powerful and amazing substance this mushroom is, and I can't wait to tell you more about it. So I was staying at a friend's house during this time when I began to research this mushroom, and lo and behold, I see right there on her shelf, which is interesting because this is called a shelf. The Native Americans called this a shelf mushroom. An Indian word, Tiaga, Tiaga, is an Indian word meaning shelf mushroom. And so there on my friend's shelf was this little mini version. It's a tiny little baby. They actually grow like this of the Tiaga mushroom. And there it was, a dried version just hanging out, kind of in her little altar area. And I thought, how cool is that? And I know I've seen these mushrooms around where I live, although it's a little dry of an environment. And so I was looking around in the forest around where I live and seeing if I could find this species and harvest some. As I've seen, it's available in almost all 50 states. And it's like everywhere. And it's just like, what a beautiful gift that we have. And now for the last couple of weeks, this is on my list, in this very busy time for those of us who are trying to spread the word about healing and about the truth and about spiritual support and spiritual ascension that's happening. This was on my list to do this mushroom meditation for weeks, and I couldn't get to it, And then I moved to a different location, and lo and behold, there in the yard, I find this specimen here of the Tiaga mushroom, the red belted conch. And so I've harvested this mushroom And I wanted to go ahead, and now it's time to do the video, obviously. And what a beautiful message. I think it's a message for all of us who are out there feeling like pressure about how to help and heal the situation right now. And feeling in the heart of all these souls that are in the healthcare profession, but are seeing the truth of what's going on, feeling pressured to get the truth out there, to get the healing out there. And all of the light worker souls and the healer souls and that have come to earth over lifetimes wanting to bring the healing, and the pressure of these feelings coming up around failing in your mission, not doing enough to help, and all that stuff. Now, these are old stories coming up from the past, but for me, this mushroom really fit this for me, because I was like, oh, and I even had people be like, okay, I think I have the virus. Can you do that mushroom meditation? And it's like, oh, and so how beautiful to walk out into my yard and find this mushroom there. Now, it would not grow, I don't think. It looks like it came in on wood chips. There's a bunch of wood chips in the yard. So I think the wood chips were carrying the fungus from the forest. And then the fact that the yard was being watered allowed this mushroom to grow on a stump of a tree. And so I am going to make some wonderful medicine with this Tiaga mushroom to support myself and others in this time. So let's talk about this mushroom. And I just felt like this was a beautiful message, because it's like the pressure of wanting to heal and help, and then realizing that all is in perfect time, and that Mother Earth is holding us and protecting us. And that's exactly how I felt when I first found this substance. Like, wow, even the technological interference, Mother Earth is providing us, nature providing us a cure. And how beautiful to feel that support and held, and how neat it is that these mushrooms provide habitat for species, and in moving into a new location, feeling held and in the right place at the right time. And this is the energy that's really going to move us through this current crisis, is connecting to the earth, coming into the revelation of healing that's available in our body, our life force, that the solutions are already here. And so what a beautiful message from Mother Earth for me, and I hope for you too. So this Indian word meaning shelf mushroom, and it's been used for hundreds of years. To one of the ways this is used, which is so interesting for what it's indicated here in the coronavirus, is that it was used by Native Americans to move fire, right? So they wanted to take fire from one location to another, and the Tiaga mushroom would hold the energy of the fire. They'd also put it in with their tobacco to keep their pipe burning. And we know that fire is, fed by oxygen. And so it speaks to this energy and the magic of this substance. So they used it as the Indians, Native Americans used it as a medicinal mushroom to stop bleeding, as a purgative, and for headaches, which is interesting. That comes very strongly in the homeopathic picture, which, of course, when we're oxygen deprived, we're going to get a headache, right? Also used as a natural preservative. It was interesting that Otzi, the Iceman, this was a well-known natural mummy from approximately 3000 BC, so like 5,000 years ago, found in the Alps between Italy and Austria, which is so interesting because Italy's so affected by this coronavirus. He had 2 well-preserved polypores in his possession. So they were able to see this after all these thousands of years. These polypores still living, right? Like surviving. And here they are, a fungus, a parasite, and yet they're what's surviving through eons and ages. And so he had these in his possession, and one of the varieties was clearly for antibacterial properties, and the other one seemed to be used for starting fires. So there you go. So the use of Tiaga originated in the Northern Plateau Native Americans, and they observed that debilitated and ill animals became well after eating this mushroom. So then they began to eat this in their diet. Then when they were faced with, say, the plague and smallpox, which was kind of a deliberate way to, genocide Native American tribes, they were able to overcome it from this mushroom. So it tells you something, because here we are in another plague, right? Kind of energy. And so this was a immune system strengthener. It isn't about one certain disease that this Tiaga mushroom supports. It's supporting the immune system to do its job and to oxygenate the body. Now, these tribes consider Tiaga to be a Native American sacramental medicine. And so no one outside the tribe was given permission to share this long-held secret until 1995. And Tiaga is used by the Cree Indians to stop bleeding. So it's antimicrobial, anti-infection. So let's talk about how this substance works, right? And it's claimed to have the highest source of polysaccharide 1,3-D beta-glucan. And it actually has, I think 6 different glucans there in it. And so this long-chain carbohydrate basically attaches or cleaves to certain receptor sites on the surface of white blood cells, which are known as macrophages and neutrophils. So these cells then carry the beta-glucans to all points throughout the body, through the lymph system. So this is really powerful, because a lot of our lymph system, our glandular system, is like our main protection, right? That's our immune system, and it's under attack. Like the toxins of our world seem to go right and kind of sit in our glandular system. Now, of course, we were talking also about the pineal gland, very important in spiritual ascension. So that's interesting. So they take these cells they take the neutrophils take the beta-glucans through the lymph system and go to help support other white blood cells. And so this has a dramatic impact on every organ, every disease, and system of the body. So it's like not for one certain disease, right? It's like helping the body do its job. Now, this is really powerful, because the attack, the attack right now on us with this invisible enemy, with this disease, with this bioweapon, has a lot to do with programming that's gone on for years around whether, kind of like we don't have an immune system. You can think about it with the movement in vaccinations, like, oh, you have to go get this shot to protect you from this disease. And yet there's actually no evidence that vaccinations actually protect you from the disease, right? And so this is really interesting that this is such a booster for the immune system, because this is our life force. And that's the thing, working with homeopathy and being classical homeopath and seeing the miracles that happen. What homeopathy does is it just gives a message to your body, like, here's the roadmap, right? So the body will vibrate at a certain frequency based on the symptoms. The symptoms are the message. And how the body's responding paints a picture. And then inevitably you'll find the substance in nature that best fits that picture. That is like a mirror. Like cures like. It's the law of attraction. And that mirror gives the body the message, the roadmap home. This is how you heal these symptoms. So it's cool in homeopathy that homeopaths don't diagnose. It's like, oh, you have coronavirus, you don't have coronavirus. It's just the symptoms that are being displayed, and then listening to the body. And what would our healthcare be like if we actually went to the doctor and felt heard? Not like a 10, 15-minute appointment. Okay, here's your drug. We're going to put you in this box, and here's the drug for that box. Go ahead and pay the pharmaceutical, big pharma industrial complex, right? And so the power of our immune system is how we take back the power. That's our free energy, right? That's how we take back the power of this world. And it's been very deliberately attacked and kept separate, like we don't have any power, right? They want us to give our power over to the system. And when you know you have an immune system and you understand how it works, it's a game changer. And that's kind of the front line of this shadow war that we're fighting right now. It has to do with our life force. And that's interesting that 5G is an attack directly on our ability to uptake oxygen, right? And now it's interesting though, because it's like, okay, wait, they have to go to all this trouble to make us sick? What this is telling us that humanity is getting stronger and stronger and evolving beyond disease. Because if the controllers need to use a bioweapon that's been produced in a lab, a Frankenvirus, and then along with 5G technology, aerosol sprayed, that's a lot to go through to kill a big part of the population, and it's not working, right? And so it's like we are evolving beyond disease, and that's part of this evolution. It all comes back to this life force. So wow, how powerful that this little mushroom, this beautiful gift of our natural world is here. It's almost like Mother Earth exists outside of timelines, you know, and the cure for the most destructive technology is right here in our backyard. So the natural components of this mushroom have antioxidant, anti-tumoral, anti-mutagen qualities, and it's said to be a remarkable oxygen catalyst. So some of the things that this is protective against is like Staphylococcus or staph infection, candida, herpes. And so the list of these things include bacteria, fungus, viruses, and parasites, right? So it's kind of cool. It's like going again, you know, after it all. And so what happens when an invader, a virus or bacteria, is introduced into the body, the neutrophil cell, that cell takes a piece of this invader to the B cell, to a B cell if it's a bacteria, or a T cell if it's a virus, or other cancer or non-specific kind of antigen. And then the body creates antibodies to do what it needs to do to eliminate the invader. So it has been shown that after ingesting this mushroom, the viability of the neutrophil cells over the next 24 hours increased by 4,000 times. Pretty amazing. And this effect, these glucans that do this, it looks like this particular variety of mushroom has the most of those available. And when these fighter cells enter the bloodstream, they go to find an infection, and they are looking for an infection. But they're programmed to only kill infections that are markers that they recognize as the enemy, right? So this is it's like a communication thing. And then if the neutrophils don't find the infection, they go to seek out anything that's wrong, right? So it's an interesting energy that is antimicrobial, antiviral, anti-tumoral, but it's also kind of like an adaptogen energy. And adaptogen herbs are like, they adjust to what the body needs, you know? So now there's a very high level of germanium in these mushrooms. And Russian scientists have isolated the highest naturally occurring germanium in any medicinal food within this family of mushrooms. And germanium is an oxygen catalyst. It's the most powerful free radical scavengers, which is an antioxidant found in nature. It can enhance oxygen supply going to the body cells and in turn increase energy production. And according to this college textbook, The Pathological Basis of Disease by Saunders in 1984, hypoxia, which is oxygen deficiency, may be the most common cause of cell injury and may also be the ultimate mechanism of damage initiated by a variety of physical, biological, and chemical agents. The importance of the body cells being properly oxygenated cannot be overstated. Germanium has been reported to enhance breathing substantially, delivering up to 200 times more oxygen to the cells. So very, very powerful. And it's interesting how there's research trying to figure out this virus, like the test for the virus has basically like 80% false positives. And they found that the test isn't really a test. It's like a scarlet letter, because the test is looking for these exosomes that are secreted by the cells during times of stress. So if a person has cancer, they will test positive for this coronavirus. If they have a cold, a flu, if they're in fear, interestingly enough, right? And so we're kind of there is a virus. There is an actual bioweapon virus. It's a combination of the SARS and the AIDS virus with this energies of these proteins, glycoproteins, which, Dr. Fauci actually holds the patents in these glycoproteins, which is pretty sick and wrong that he's up there telling us what to do and saying, oh yeah, it came from a bat. It surely came from a bat, right? And so this is the SARS virus, the AIDS virus mixed together with these glycoproteins that make it so that these can get into the cell. And those patents that Fauci holds are also aerosol patents. And so now, this brings to mind, like, how are we contracting this? Is social distancing really what we need to be doing? Or do we need to be loving and touching each other and holding each other right now and healing each other? But basically, there's a lot of questions about this virus. So there is a virus. It's also very much activated by 5G technology. There might be different versions of this virus, one that's more lethal and one that's less lethal. There's a lot of mysteries going on, but it just came out in a study that Sweden, they didn't do the lockdown, they didn't do the social distancing, and they had the exact same bell curve, right? So we need to question whether or not social distancing is the answer to this virus, and maybe natural cures and love and connection and our immune system, right? And so anyway, this is a very powerful medicine, speaking, especially when we go back and look at these. So a doctor from the New York City in an ICU came forward and put out a video saying that, like, the ventilators are making people worse. If they get on a ventilator, they surely die, because the not getting enough oxygen isn't the problem. It's the body not uptaking the oxygen. And that these lungs look like somebody who is up on Mount Everest, right? It's not, so this is the effect of this virus, but looking at that, this porous lung issue, this is exactly what the underside of this mushroom looks like. A sponge, So the very powerful healing for us. So it's been shown to increase resistance to cancers and tumors. And this is maybe because of the germanium. And germanium, through extensive scientific studies, has shown to be antioxidant, anti-cancer, anti-mutagenic, and an oxygen catalyst. Germanium makes it so that every breath you take, the oxygen in our body 200 times more available to the cells. Now, and that's what they found in this virus. And a lot of this is like, there's so much good information out there. George Webb talks about the Fauci patents and how this biovirus, Amazing Polly does great research, has done some great videos about how this is clearly a depopulation agenda funded by Bill Gates, George Soros, the WHO, it's all there. It's all part of this agenda. And a lot of really good information out there about the truth of this virus. Dr. Rashid Buttar talks a lot about this anatomy of this virus. So I can link some of those things down below. So, So we talked about this blood cell neutrophil. So It's been noted through clinical observations that within a day of ingesting the Tiaga fungus, the body begins to produce massive numbers of neutrophils and other white blood cells, up to 4,000% more, which seek out infection in the body. This increases the survival rate for those with any type of infections, including cancers, viruses, bacterial, fungus, and fungal infections, and stimulates the production of interferon levels up to 2,000% within 20 hours of ingestion. So here we have this beautiful gift for us, and I'm going to go and make some medicine. I'm going to make a very strong tea. It looks like that's the best thing to do. You can also chop it up and eat it like a food and a powder, but it seems like to get the most of the medicine out, to make a very strong concoction of tea, and then I'm going to use that tea to make a tincture with alcohol. To preserve this mushroom. And so I just wanted to share this healing, this love that Mother Earth and nature has for us, providing for us, and just hopefully bring some peace. And we can use this plant meditation, this mushroom meditation, to send out this healing vibration to all those affected by this virus right now. As somebody who suffered from asthma in my past, the feeling of not being able to breathe and get oxygen is one of the most, it's going right to our sense of life or death, right? It's a direct attack on that life force, and it's not a very nice place to be. And just to know that there's healing out there, there's natural cures. Vitamin C, high levels of vitamin C intravenously has been used very effectively in Japan and China. That information has been highly suppressed. Also, the hydrochloroquine, which is actually a quinine, comes from the cinchona tree that's been used to treat malaria for hundreds of years. That's a very common homeopathic remedy. And that hydrochloroquine mixed with zinc, I guess the hydrochloroquine allows the zinc to get into the cells, which kind of stops this deoxygenation. So what George Webb was talking about is that we have in our cells, in our lung cells, in the center of our cells, we have this one iron in our hemoglobin. We have one molecule of iron, and that iron is what picks up the oxygen and takes it to the rest of our body. And this virus seems to attack that so that that iron cannot take up this virus, or it cannot take up the oxygen. So this mushroom seems like a beautiful medicine for this. And I hope that you enjoy this plant meditation, and I look forward to hearing about it in the comments, and send this out to the whole planet right now. Just this knowing, this love that we're cared for and held with a solution for all of our problems in this beautiful earth experiment that's so strange right now. But just to remember that we are on a living, breathing planet. God is providing for us, and we're going to be okay. So thanks so much. I hope you enjoy the meditation. I'm going to go make some medicine. Until next time, I'm Apparentlythis. Namaste.
Welcome to a mushroom meditation with the red belted conch, or the red belted mushroom, Tiaga, Fomitopsis pinicola, Polyporus pinicola. Find yourself here at the edge of the most magnificent temperate forest, moist and warm. The forest beckons you. Before you lay moss-covered trees, untouched for years. forest. Trees laying down and standing strong. Green, fresh, and full of oxygen. It beckons you. You find a small trail, perhaps an animal trail. For in this place, not many humans go. The trail, soft, warm, and red, covered in pine needles. You make your way. The ground moist and yet warm enough. So you take off your shoes and you feel the earth under your feet. Time slow as you arrive into this ancient forest. Step by step, one foot in front of the other, feeling the moist earth under your feet. Slowly, you step out of time. The sun shining in a golden light through the trees. Giving everything a magical hue. Tall canopies rise above you, sheltering you as you reach out to feel the beautiful pine tree, the rough bark, the smell of vanilla calling you to come closer to this tree, to breathe with this tree, to be near this tree. And you feel moving your fingers along the bark of this tree, feeling the rough edges and the softer places and the crevices in between, as you wonder what kind of creatures live inside. You look up as this tree towers above you, standing strong and tall. Here for hundreds of years. If you listen, it tells you a story. Long, long ago, when not so many humans walked this area, and you feel called to breathe. Move closer to this tree, breathing in the sweet smell. Dipping your nose deep in between the pieces of bark in this big, wide, wise pine tree. And you rest there for a moment as all falls away. the regular life, the outside world, as you feel this forest envelop you and hold you, bringing you deeper and deeper within your own being. The depth and the mysteries of the forest call you, as slowly, oh so slowly, you take one foot after the other in front of one another, feeling the moist earth under your feet. As you hear the animals, you watch and listen. The colors, all of the shades of green, bright, beckoning you deeper and deeper into this peace, into this forest. As all falls away, and you feel yourself connected to the earth, step by step, to the plants that seem to be breathing with you and looking more and more green and alive with each step you take. You hear the rustle, the chipmunk, the birds singing lightly in the distance. All is at peace. To move deeper and deeper into this beautiful place, alive with life and oxygen. And you come to a fallen tree blocking the path, covered with mosses. You reach out to feel these, recognizing as you look closer different varieties, all there living together, different shapes and colors of green. You're called to stop and feel with your fingers these mosses, looking closer and closer at them, the little ferny parts, the way that they grow so slow as if they don't ever grow at all. And yet they blanket this lush and beautiful world, this mysterious, untouched forest. You see the sun reflect, glisten and sparkle on a few drops of dew. And you look closer and closer until you see the whole forest reflected in that one drop of dew, glistening like a jewel, beckoning you connect with the mysteries of this forest. Completely at peace. No one else around, just you and the trees, and the moss, the grass, plants. You wonder at the wealth of medicinal gifts that live in this forest. As you make your way over the log, continuing on your path, your eye drawn to the different species of ground cover and bushes, small trees, everything with their own shade of green, perhaps tinged with red. The forest in a beautiful dress, moist and alive, full of life. You make your way, feeling the earth with every step, your toes reaching for the earth, a gentle blanket of fallen needles paving your way, beckoning you deeper and deeper into this experience. Something is calling to you. You see something in the distance. Something reflecting the light. Something bright and white. Tiaga, the mushroom. A big, wide stump lies ahead, just to the side of this animal trail, just sitting there, ancient. What stories that stump could tell of all that lives in the magic of this forest. And there, on the side of the stump, a big, fat Tiaga, red belted conch, red belted mushroom, grows out of death of this old, forgotten tree. This fungus makes its home. This fungus that finds its way into trees. Perhaps a tree that's been wounded by a careless axe or by nature. Another tree falling on it. This mushroom finds its way there, growing. Powerful medicine from that wound. And even after the tree falls, this mushroom still lives each year, adding a band, perennial mushroom growing thicker and woodier and more red and brown, the beautiful color as you approach this big, fat, beautiful Tiaga mushroom. You see the red and the brown glistening like the most beautiful painted sunset. And the white band reflecting the light, calling you. You feel in your heart there's something here for you. You feel that this is medicine. Perhaps why you came and were drawn deep into this forest. Something calls to you in your heart, a feeling like coming home, a feeling of being cared for by this earth, by this Mother Earth, this beautiful expression of nature. This mushroom calls to you. This mushroom which grows, eating away and carving out areas for voles and birds and even bears. This mushroom creates home. This mushroom is calling you home. This mushroom is reminding you that here on this earth, in the arms of Mother Earth, Goddess Gaia, you are cared for. And your heart goes out to this mushroom, and this mushroom calls to you, and you wonder if you could take this mushroom home, but you don't want to disturb the forest. You move to this mushroom. You approach it slowly in awe. This fungus that grows into something strong and woody, almost like the tree itself. But the tree isn't even living anymore. And the mushroom lives on. The mushroom represents the fight for life, the strength of the fight, of the immune system, of humanity, claiming survival even after the life is gone of the tree. This mushroom lives on, decomposing, returning this tree to the earth, completing the life cycle process, cleansing, regenerating, and releasing old cells. And all of a sudden you understand and you know this mushroom can also do this. Perhaps it's being offered to you right now to do this for your very own body. Perhaps this mushroom would like to come home with you to be your medicine, to heal and regenerate what's toxic and dead within you, the cells that are no longer serving you. And you reach out to this mushroom and you feel this mushroom and you feel how smooth and soft and shiny. Tapping it with your finger. Nail it. Incredible surface to it. Protected. And yet underneath soft and raw. Kind of like you. Kind of like all you've had to do to survive in this world. Going up against all of the exposure, toxins, overstimulation, technology, You wonder at this mushroom with awe. You feel an affinity with this mushroom. And you feel that it's why you came here today. And so you ask. You sit there, called to just be on the ground with this stump, with this mushroom, in awe and wonder, the gift, this medicine, right here for you. And so you ask Mother Earth and the tree and the forest and the mushroom, are you here for me? Did you somehow grow this hard woody surface and soft inner spongy flesh just for me? Is it okay for me to take you home with me for medicine? And all of a sudden you smell the forest, you smell the mushroom, the fresh fungus, the moss, the oxygen in the trees. It washes over you like a soft breeze, a warm, soft breeze enveloping you, surrounding you with warmth. You're overcome by the aroma of this mushroom, and you feel this mushroom all the way around this hard outer part, so beautiful and red and brown on the top and underneath, soft, spongy. And you think maybe this mushroom will just break off for you, come home with you, as it seems to be offering itself to you. Like what this mushroom really wants more than anything is to be medicine for humanity, like its whole purpose. But the mushroom will not come. It holds tight, woody like a tree, clinging like the force of life, allowing the human to survive the onslaught of modern life. This fungus clings to life, to this tree. And all of a sudden you feel in your pocket your little knife. And you ask, is it okay? Can I cut you away and take you home? And again, the wind, the smell overcome with the moist, damp magic of this forest. And you feel in your heart that there's nothing more that this mushroom would like than to come home and be medicine for humanity. And your heart wells up with joy and love, the feeling of being cared for by this world. The red, beautiful brown color just welling up in your heart as you feel your heart beat strong, healthy circulation, red like this red belted conch. And so, gently stroking the conch, holding it firmly, you begin to cut it away from the tree. And at first it seems like it doesn't want to come. But right there in the center cutting away the middle part, automatically, easily just gives way and falls into your hand, and warm as if it's been baked in the sun, alive. And the smell, you stick it up to your nose and you breathe this mushroom smell. And you hold this mushroom close to your heart as you feel yourself coming home into your heart. This mushroom making you a home, just like it does for the little animals. Making you a home in your heart. Feeling loved and cared for, that Mother Earth, Mother Nature has everything you need. Offered up, wholly and completely, unconditionally. And your heart wells up with love as you hold this warm, alive, magical fungus to your chest and breathe. And you seem to be transported for a moment. The air fresher, more clean. Green, greener, more green. All stops, and yet something spins, and you feel that all of a sudden you are in another world. A journey with this mushroom to the ancient times. Before the humans moved in this region, pristine, untouched nature, the original codes of this beautiful goddess Gaia planet, held right there in this mushroom in your heart. You're just there for a moment, transported, breathing in, feeling that the air is more fresh, clean than you've ever breathed before. And you breathe deep, deep into yourself. You feel this air going all the way to the furthest reaches of your body, deep into all the way down to your toes and your fingertips, to your brain. Knowing that this mushroom sends healing, cleansing, regenerative, rejuvenative, detoxifying properties easily, harmoniously, and with joy throughout your whole body, and you cannot wait to experience the medicine of this mushroom. Just waiting here for you, called you to this place. Miles and miles it called you. Deep into the forest it called you. And now you know why. So you cradle this mushroom as you return your knife to your pocket, and you hold this mushroom to your heart as you begin to make your way back out of the forest, taking your time, recognizing that all is still and quiet. Still the birds sing, but in gentler voices, as if all is connected, all is peace, all is one. perhaps part of the message of this mushroom. That no matter where you go, what you do, medicine will find you. Medicine, the connection, the oneness, what you need to heal is there for you. And in this awe and wonder, this mystical revelation, you gradually make your way back through the forest, your gift and held close to your heart. You take your time enjoying every step and every breath. As you breathe, you feel that you are breathing in life force itself through your skin, porous like the mushroom. You're connected to every living thing in purity, in health, in truth. And you step one foot in front of the other, taking your time, enjoying every breath. Fresh oxygen delivered to the furthest reaches, the deepest, darkest places, the deepest places of old, stuck energy and trauma in your body, now rejuvenated, refreshed, alive, healed by this sweet, soft, but hard and protected, magical, fungal mushroom growing on the ancient trees. Alive or dead, it carries on the wisdom of these ancient trees. And now, you can take it home with you. You have been gifted the ancient wisdom. These trees standing for hundreds of years, holding the mysteries of the ancient times, covered with moss, species that have been around beyond, before time memorial, beyond what we can comprehend. These mosses, these ancient trees, and this mushroom. The mushroom with you is bringing with you the purification of this ancient forest, this fresh, moist, beautiful, regenerative air. Home with you, no matter where you go. This pristine and ancient wisdom, this untouched forest goes with you. And you slow your pace, just taking your sweet time. But you see the sun is angling through the forest, telling you that the day is coming to a close. The forest is going to sleep. It's time for you to return to your life, but you'll never forget this magic revelation, this moment, this fresh, clean air, this rejuvenation, this connection to all that lives. The definition of Gaia is the earth and all living beings, which includes you. And now you remember. You took the time to play your part, to be present, to connect, and you were gifted this generous, beautiful gift, this mushroom that said, please Please choose me to go home with you today, to love you in this medicine, to care for you, cleanse, purify, remind you that you are supported in this fight for life. That you are connected to this life force that holds all. It's yours. And the mushroom reminds you that it's safe and you're held and loved and cared for. And you can come home to the earth just like the little animals that are made homes by this mushroom. And you breathe deep, deep peace. Deeper peace and quiet connection you've ever felt for. As you finally make your way back to the edge of the forest, the sun gold in the horizon, back to where you started, the perfect time. And slowly keep this mystical and magical feeling, this slow pace, this feeling being blessed by spirit through nature, this spiritual experience and revelation through nature. You know spirit lives, God lives, the mother cares for you. You have your prize, your gift, this devotion, this fungus, so excited to be your medicine. Together, you journey to your home. As you come into your home, you feel more at home than you felt ever before, like you're safe here, you're cared for. And slowly you begin to prepare this mushroom, first cutting it into pieces. It's very spongy. It's woody on the edge, but spongy on the inside, and stringy, like fibrous. No wonder this mushroom is so good at cleansing out excess growth, tumors, and inflammation, infection, bacterias and viruses. And so you find that it's easy. It's just to use your fingers to rip it into pieces. And it seems to really like it. The mushroom says, please, put the knife down, touch me. So you gradually just take your time, pulling the pieces apart. You wonder the unfathomable power of this plant for healing. This very strange, fibrous, stringy, spongy, yet hard on the outside, protected. And you cover this plant with water and gradually raise the temperature. And you watch as the water begins to simmer, and gently, gently boil and simmer, becoming darker and darker. The plant relinquishing its medicine into the water. Its devotion, its love, its power. And the smell of the forest that held you in that moment when this mushroom offered itself to you is now surrounded you again. Your home smells like the forest, like the mushrooms, like the damp, moist earth, and you're transported again as you Wait your medicine, simmering, extracting. Plenty of time. There's plenty of time. One of the messages of this mushroom has been here from the ancient times, yet medicine for the future. Healing with technological influence. Amazing. Carries ancient stories of the ancient trees, more ancient than the most ancient trees and the ancient moss, and yet a medicine of the future. One of the symptoms, one of the energies just takes you right out of time, slows everything down, and you feel at one, at home, in the moment. As you breathe in the fumes of the tea cooking and steaming, you're transported back to the forest, this mystical and magical experience, the gratitude for this earth, for this mother holding you, offering you this medicine. And you offer the gratitude back to her and to this mushroom. As your tea is ready, you pour off just a little bit and gently sip the strong, woodsy, earthy flavor, packed full with powerful nutrients, glucans, germanium, and antioxidants, and triggering your immune system to your lymph system to activate your immune system, to bring oxygen to the furthest reaches, just like it felt like to breathe that fresh, untouched, clean, oxygenated air, that ancient forest. You drink in this ancient forest, drink in this medicine, you feel yourself coming deeper and deeper into present time and out of time. The most ancient truths and the most future mysteries, and everything is still. Everything is one. Deep breathe, knowing that every breath now brings more and more oxygen capacity. We're in more healing and detox, cleansing and purifying the death that you've been holding within you, the trauma, the sickness, the stagnancy, cancer cells, all of it. It's gotta go. Because you're here to live, thrive. You've got your medicine. You're held and loved on this earth. No matter the onslaught of the toxins, energetic, technological environment can't touch you. Your heart is full of love, shielded like a mushroom. Beautiful shield, refracting all toxicity, while you can stay soft inside, sensitive. Your greatest gift. And you feel yourself resting to come to the end of the day. Relieved, nourished, cleansed and purified, held in love. Everything you need is here for you. And you decide to arrive more fully and completely at home, right here in the moment on earth. You commit to this experience with your ally, this beautiful red banded conch, red banded mushroom Tiaga, Fomitopsis pinicola, your sweet friend, devoted to bringing you home, cleansing the death, making room, and homes for the animals. Just taking a few deep breaths while you enjoy the effect of this mushroom tea, this beautiful gift of nature, knowing that you've connected with the most ancient tribes of this land who've used this medicine for cleansing and purifying. They've used this medicine just like it creates oxygen in your body, helps oxygenate your cells. It also keeps the fire going. This mushroom, the fire in your heart, used by the ancients to move their fire, keep their fire going, and in their pipe with their sacred tobacco to help it stay lit. It holds the fire because it holds the oxygen. And you breathe deep and deep peace in the knowing they're held and loved in this experience on planet Earth. Welcome to be here. Feel the devotion of this mushroom, this wisdom of this fungus, the magical properties to heal the most modern diseases. You feel deep peace in your heart as you complete your journey, storing away your tea, storing away mushroom, knowing that it's in your heart, will always be there. A message that you are loved and held and welcome here on the earth. You are the gift, just like this mushroom wanted to be the gift for you. And so just taking a few deep breaths, completing your journey, taking your time, bringing with you this peace, this new connection to this time outside of time, ancient wisdom and future knowledge, connected to all that lives, and the peace and harmony of that pristine and untouched forest. Just bring all of that into your life as you can allow over time, just gradually more and more, reminding yourself of this permission for this deep presence, this out of time feeling. Everything slows, you're at one, the green's more green, the air is more clear. You're present. Perhaps more than you've ever been. Just taking a few deep breaths, become aware of your physical body, bringing with you this peace. Wiggling your fingers and toes, and when you're ready, go ahead and complete your mushroom meditation. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful journey back home. And thank you, Tiaga, for taking us there.